Here we go, just past halftime on the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Man, oh man, did you guys look outside moments ago? Did you see this outside, Ken Weaver? Wait, no, Ken. Oh, that's a sore subject. I apologize, Ken Weaver.
Yeah, I don't have a window. All I've got is just a wall around me.
You
got a window, Ken.
Halfway through that question, I just realized that poor Ken Weaver, he's got a window into the control area, which then has a window outside. But Ken Weaver does not have it's why we say that Ken Weaver's in News Closet B, because he does not have a window to the out of door. Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
It's raining.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a pop-up rain shower came about.
That might be why my traffic map looks so angry.
Maybe so. A lot of traffic going on in downtown Nashville. Y'all be careful out there. It'll be there when you get there. Be safe and be warned. Might be some raindrops on the windshields. Okay, Matt Murphy with you. Cameron Smith in his normal place, in position on these Wednesdays. We appreciate Cameron being here. Hello, Cameron.
Howdy.
Hello, Cameron.
Howdy.
There you go. And there on the Murphy Show hotline is Senator Marsha Blackburn, who made the big announcement earlier today that she has thrown her proverbial hat in the ring to become the next governor of the state of Alabama. And we are pleased to welcome Senator Blackburn on the Matt Murphy Show this afternoon on Super Talk. Senator Blackburn, good afternoon. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm delighted to join you. It has been a big day.
I'm sure it has. We've got many, many questions, and I know that we'll have plenty of opportunities. I look at this as the beginning of this conversation about your role potentially as governor, not, the end of anything. So just the beginning. So I don't expect that we'll get all of our questions out today in the time that we have, but hopefully we'll get a few of them. And the biggest question on my lips, why did you decide now? I mean, just after running for re-election for United States Senate, you've obviously been thinking about this for a certain amount of time. Talk to us about your thought process and why you've made the decision to run as governor.
Yes, indeed. And as you know, I have worked so closely with President Trump. There's no one that has worked more closely with him than me to pass his agenda. And he is sending power, authority, control back to the states when it comes to education and energy and health care. And there's going to be an opportunity to innovate and to work on regulations and how benefits are administered. And because of that, that is going to be a great opportunity to reset how our state government works. Now, Matt, the last time we did a reset in Tennessee was after I led that fight to defeat that proposed state income tax. And we did that, and then we reset everything in our state. We reduced spending, we skinnied up the bureaucracy, and we became an economic powerhouse. And we should continue that. And just as we did that reset in the early 2000s, with President Trump doing his great job, sending all of this back to the states, it is going to be an opportunity to grab that and then innovate. Think of what great innovation we do when it comes to energy and to health care, when it comes to how you educate children. The U.S. Department of Education is going to go away, and that will be coming back, and I am so excited about leading our state through this transition and achieving what we have wanted for so long, is to get power out of Washington, D.C., and back to your local and state governments. And I fully believe that Tennessee can be America's conservative leader.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, senator from the great state of Tennessee. Unlike, I botched the intro, Senator, and somehow Alabama was on my mind. I tried to demote you to governor of Alabama as opposed to governor of Tennessee. I apologize, and thank you for not pointing that out. But so I duly noted to everyone that has noted that I screwed that up, and I apologize.
Well,
I don't know where.
Shame on you.
Shame on me, and I apologize. What is the?
That's going to be Tommy Tuberville. You can go do it.
That's what everybody tells me. That's what everybody tells me. He's running, and you're running in the great state of Tennessee. What are you proudest of as a U.S. Senator that you've gotten accomplished, and what, if anything, do you look back on and wish you had done differently?
You know, when you talk about things that we have done, there's no one that's done more for the people of Tennessee than we have. And solving problems for the people, our caseworkers who work it out every single day when it comes to cases and issues that people are having. You look at the work I did on the big, beautiful bill, and we were able to remove that income tax burden from our nation's seniors by giving them a $6,000 bonus deduction every single year. Every senior gets that. When you look at the work that I have done, I've been a leader in protecting our children and putting regulations and things in place that are going to help protect our children. The Report Act that I was able to do, leading this fight, finding those illegal alien, those children that have come into this country and have been lost. And all of those are things that you achieve and you do on behalf of the people of Tennessee. They're things that they have wanted to see done.
Senator, as I previewed your appearance today after you made the announcement that you're running for governor of Tennessee, that I asked the listening audience to throw questions out at me about your history. I mean, you're well known to most of the voters in this state as a United States Senator, as a House of Representatives member, as a member of the General Assembly. And more than anything, people asked me to ask you to reflect on January 6th. People that have concerns for whatever reason, and I don't know why, have concerns about the vote to certify the election and the aftermath of that. And I understand that it's 5 years ago, but enough people have asked me to ask you. I feel compelled to do so on their part. Speak to that if you don't mind.
Sure. You know, and January 6th was that ceremonial vote. And basically that process was over. At that point, we went in, we signed papers to object, and then you had the issues of the day. I think we all trust President Trump and how he moved forward with the pardons from individuals that were involved in that day. That's his right. That was a decision he made. That is something that you support.
We have Cameron Smith with us, who writes for the Tennessean. I think you're familiar with Cameron and his work, and he's got a question for you, Senator.
Sure. Senator, you've done a great job for advocating for constituencies that are important to Tennessee, like the music industry, for example. One of the least conservative things that I've seen as a foster parent is the state is the parent to thousands of kids in the state of Tennessee, and they don't really have a great advocate because there's, let's be honest, not money to be made in that space. As the chief executive of the state, what changes would you like to see at DCS? How do we get more of our communities involved, taking care of these kids so that it's Tennesseans raising them and not the state of Tennessee?
You know, that is something that I've had the opportunity to do a little bit of work on. And John Ossoff out of Georgia and I had worked on some things dealing with these DCS departments. Now, one thing I found out by working with our commissioner on DCS is that you've got about 15 counties in the state that have the vast majority of children that are in DCS care or in the foster program. And Cameron, I think one of the things we should do is let's pick a county and let's start a pilot project to see how we do things differently.
Amen.
To put this child, let's think about this child. And then I've talked with some of the state legislators about this. And where should we make a change on this? I don't know all the answers to this, but what I do know is that we have defined the problem. We know where the 15 counties are. We should pick one of these and say, let's do some things differently that will allow this child to have more direct care or participation from the community that will give this child some stability and
Amen.
some certainty that they are needing. And I've talked to some foster parents about this also. And a couple of people that are really close to me have fostered and adopted children. And, you know, Cameron, one of the things they talk about is bringing that child into that family and then helping that child heal and go through that process of healing and believing in themselves and realizing how important that safe, secure family environment can be to them. And it makes a difference in that child's life. And then the child comes to realize that. And that should be what we hope to achieve rather than keeping the attention on the bureaucracy of a department.
As you look across the state, I think we're doing pretty well, certainly comparatively speaking to other states around the United States of America, Senator Blackburn. But as you look around the state of Tennessee, what needs fixing? In other words, what do you look at and say, as governor, I'm going to champion this issue?
Yeah, well, let me say this to Cameron. I will work with him on this issue with DCS because this is a problem that is defined. When you talk about things more fully, you know, issues that need to do, let's talk about how we keep our taxes low, how we keep our spending low, how we get the burden off of the taxpayer as much as we can, and then also looking at where there are ways to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse. Bureaucracies grow. Everybody knows that. And using a process where you're going in and cutting back on that bureaucracy on a regular basis is a way to keep the growth down. Also, we hear a lot from people across the state about jobs. And there are great jobs coming into this state. And they want to see workforce development and workforce training, jobs retraining opportunities, and having those so that our kids don't move away to a job, so that our kids and their friends are coming here for a job. And having those world-class jobs and a world-class workforce means that our children have to have a world-class education. And I did a lot of work on the school choice provisions that came forward this year, working with the legislators and the governor and really making certain that that was put in place, and now we've got to make certain that it is implemented and that kids and parents are going to have the opportunity to decide how those children are going to be educated and what opportunities are going to be there for them.
A few additional moments, just a couple of additional minutes with Senator Marsha Blackburn, who announced earlier today that she's running for governor of the state of Tennessee. Cameron?
Yeah, real quickly, how would you respond to, you know, you mentioned jobs, the small businesses, medium-sized businesses in Tennessee that say, hey, you know, I didn't really anticipate these tariffs adding to my unit cost and what I do, but it's really hurting my small business. Hey, can you help me out with understanding this, advocate to the White House about this? How are you going to handle that when your role is really reversed? You're the executive of the state versus a legislator up there, you know, cheering on the Trump administration when it comes to things like jobs and, you know, where tariffs may negatively impact.
And we have worked and continue to work with dozens of businesses, whether they're small, medium, or large, on issues of tariffs and the impact that that is having. And we are working with, you know, there are people in the state that are working on this, and we're working on it. And Cameron, the thing is being able to advocate for those businesses. I was advocating for one earlier today, and they have a business, their HTS codes, there's a certain product that they have to import, and there is a designation called an HTS code. We have gathered those codes, and we've submitted those to USTR, and we're working it through the process to make certain that they are not going to face a tariff on those items, because there is one place that they can get that one specific item. And while we all want to see more jobs coming back into the U.S., we do not want to penalize people who are manufacturing or who are in agriculture or who are producers or maybe providing some service, and they are having to get that one specific item from a specific country, and we don't want that price to be hiked up on them.
Senator, I know you got to run. Your time's limited. Busy day for you. One final question from me as you launch your gubernatorial campaign. You're no stranger to these races, whether they're General Assembly races, House of Representatives, United States Senate. What differentiates you? You know that, obviously there are other names in the race already, Congressman Rose and others. What sets you apart, and what is your singular message to the people across the state of Tennessee as you begin this journey?
I have the most complete conservative record to lead this state. I have been delivering for the people of Tennessee for a long time. When I was in the state Senate, making certain we didn't have a state income tax, making certain we didn't give driver's licenses to illegal aliens, and we continue to lead and deliver for the people of this state. And working hard from every corner of the state. My goodness, Senator Brent Taylor down in Memphis, I've been working with him. We've got FBI resources surged down there. You look at the work we're doing in Middle Tennessee. I've been working with Cameron Sexton, who just talked to him, who's the Speaker of the House. You look at the great work that we are doing over in Oak Ridge, the work we're doing with the National Guard. I was working this morning on healthcare issues in Upper East Tennessee. And having that knowledge, having that ability to work at the local, state, and federal level, visiting every county in this state for the last 6 years, this is going to be a great run. We are going to win this race. We are going to be a hard-working governor, and we're going to make certain Tennessee is this country's conservative leader.
Senator, how can folks find out more about the gubernatorial race? Where can they go?
MarshaBlackburn.com.
Thank you. We look forward to many conversations down the road. Please come in. Next time you're in Nashville, come by the studio and we'll spend a little time together, okay?
You got it. Take care. Bye.
All right, take care. There's Marsha Blackburn. 25 after the hour, we'll talk about some of her responses, some, frankly, better than others. With regard to some of the questions asked as we begin the conversation, as she asks for your vote for governor of the state of Tennessee.
That is correct.
Yes. I tried to demote her to the state now. I don't know why I did that, but that came out of my brain, and I apologize. It's 25 after the hour on Super Talk.